So, since I was taking a look at Sonic the Hedgehog for the Master System, I thought it would be appropriate to immediately switch over to rip off the Genesis version too, while it's nothing like the same game. So, what's up with Sonic and stuff, I was explaining more or less there. There wasn't much to explain anyway. With Sonic the Blue Sprinter Hedgehog, you are herring through many classic jump and run levels, and beating some end bosses to a pulp. Concerning the gameplay, it is exactly the same as on the other console. Just as there, here you are destroying the monitors to collect items. There are the springs and bumpers and all the other obstacles all over the levels. But the levels are the basic difference between both versions, so even where title and gameplay are the same of both, it is another game. Still, they somewhat belong to each other. The biggest differences with Sonic the Hedgehog for Master System and Genesis are surely within the technical side. It's no question the 16-bit version on the Genesis looks way better and has better sound than the 8-bit version on the Master System. So it would be bullshit to compare the technical aspects of these two games. But comparing this game here to other 16-bit games from 1991, it definitely doesn't need to hide. Graphics work well. Even though there is clearly visible block structure in their design, this is a characteristic detail for the 2D Sonic series. The levels may not be spectacularly designed, but they are still looking harmonic to the eye. On the animation side, they were quite saving on the number of sprites, but the ones which are existing are rather well done. A definitely mentionable difference between both versions is that you can recollect many of your rings after being hit by a villain. They are falling to all directions and you can go after them if you wish. Definitely a substantive advantage for the better hardware, because 8-bit systems can only compute very few objects at the same time without slowdowns. While graphics are good but not outreaching, the game's sound goes more into that direction, compared to software out of the same time period. I don't know what the Sega people were into in the old days, but could have well been that they were music lovers, since it was all beginning here with this game that it was always taken care of that Sonic games offer some proper sound design. I don't want to say that this year now is something like a revelation, but I'd say the music is better than average of its time. Every level has its own sound, which is playing in the background and doesn't normally go on your nerves. The music was good enough that I was taking half of its game's sound onto my hard drive. Sound effects are basically the same as in the Master System version, but since the better hardware allows better sound development, they are still better here and many of them are just as classic as many sounds of the Mario series are. The sounds of the rings, of the springs or in jumping are sometimes being used even today. They are a major element for the expressive design of the Sonic series. Actually, I can't tell why Sega was programming the same title for two consoles. Neglecting that this version here seems more interesting because of better hardware, it even has a bit of more content. Might also be because of the interests of programmers. Where the 90s had just begun, the developers were possibly just fancier for putting their hands on the new 16-bit hardware than writing software for old 8-bit systems. So, compared to the version for the older console, this game here offers more levels, more change, more enemies, and after all, more gaming fun. All of it not beyond all measures, but at least something. In the Master System version, you had to find the Chaos Emeralds somewhere within the levels, which was rather annoying. Here now, you gotta get them on bonus levels. When reaching the sign at the end of the level with at least 50 rings, there is spinning a huge ring in the air. You have to jump into that ring before Sonic will automatically leave the frame. After the correct level balance, you'll end up here, where you have to get into the center of a bonus level with some woolly controls. You need to free the Chaos Emerald from the covering crystals and then collect it. Well, that's alright and is more fun than having to search through the levels for that junk, but what did I say? When you have gotten all of them, nothing happens. At the end of the game, everybody's happy that Robotnik didn't get them. In other means, nobody cares and you don't get anything for it. There is pretty much no incitement to try to find them again when you might play the game in the next millennium again. Controls are also the same as in the 8-bits version. That means they're good. But also, here the introduction of physical aspects to Sonic games has already begun. Effects like centrifugal forces, speed and acceleration, and all such stuff can be used, for example, to jump higher or getting to roll faster. But it doesn't mean that this version is much faster than the other one. There are a few points where racing through the level with some heavy speed, but aside from those very few moments, you're rather jumping and navigating all the time than running. People tend to forget about this, that Sonic might be an ultra-fast Hedgehog, but that the qualities of the 2D series are rather in unique level design, gameplay and proper technology. My personal opinion is that this game here can't mess with Super Mario World, which was released the same time through the Super Nintendo console, and many people would agree to that, methinks. But well, there were reasons that Nintendo was leading the market at that time, and even though Sonic isn't equal to Mario, here we have a great first 16-bits game as a starting title for a series which is justly having a great number of fans. One of them is blathering right now. In optical means, the game doesn't need to hide. The eyes are satisfied for a bit of software from 1991. No question people are used to other audible quality these days, but in its time the game was offering quite some very good music. Gameplay is the same as in the Master System version, but all the little additional elements help to get a better score here. So, on balance, this year is more fun to play than its 8-bits version, but still has the same basic problem. It doesn't have to offer much what people would play it often for. So, this one isn't going to be turned on more often than the version for the Master System. But well, we already know that the words classic and long-lasting don't belong to each other. But at least classics are being played once in a while the regular games don't even get to feel a single volt in their circuits again, after having disappointed once. Oh, fuck! I've been slayed by a cork! Shit!